The anime begins with a man named Aji relaxing under a tree. He is a man who is good at cooking food. When he was cooking noodles, a portal appeared in his kitchen, and a beautiful woman named Dora appeared from inside. Suddenly he felt surprised and dropped the bowl of freshly cooked noodles, but the woman swiftly changed her form into a child's figure, then caught the noodle. Aji, who was disturbed by her arrival, tried to evict and push her out of his house, but in an instant, Dora returned to his home again. After that, the hungry Dora immediately opened the refrigerator door remotely and sucked all the food in it. Aji, who felt confused, finally asked what kind of creature she was, why she came to him, and how she got rid of her presence. Dora explains that she is a spirit summoner from ancient times, hundreds of years ago, while she is already 300 years old. Dora's real form is the figure of a beautiful woman Aji first saw, but she had to spend a lot of energy with that form. Meanwhile, if she is in the form of a child, the energy needed is only a little. Dora explained that she didn't come to see Aji but that there was a call that woke her up to go there. Actually, Aji was still confused, but he chose to ignore it, then went to school. On the way, Aji thinks not to get involved in any problems and hopes that Dora will leave his life soon. Not long after, Dora instead appeared and flew behind him, teasing him. Even when Aji was in class, Dora still teased him about making Aji angry, and he unknowingly pounded the table. When a woman confesses her love to Aji, Dora comes in to interrupt, resulting in a misunderstanding that makes the woman run and cry. Aji, who felt frustrated, immediately gave a lot of food to Dora as an offering so that she wanted to leave his life. But Dora instead asked Aji to make a soul contract with her. If Aji refuses, then Dora will only wander aimlessly in the human world for 200 years, then she will disappear. Seeing the look on Aji's face that objected, Dora said if he didn't want her to be there, she would leave. But as a memory, Dora wanted to go with him as their last meeting, and Aji agreed. While walking, Dora holds Aji's hand and gives an overview of the real-world life. Aji saw many spirits wandering around humans. Dora explains that anyone in the world can call them, but unfortunately, most people don't understand the secrets that exist in this world. Only a handful of people understand and can take advantage of the true summons, and those people are called summoners. The summoners can do amazing things. They can even destroy the world or save it. Dora then asked if Aji was interested in becoming a summoner and exploring the world with her. After Aji understood all of Dora's descriptions and explanations, he accepted the soul contract agreement with Dora. After that, Dora brought Aji to fly around the city. Unfortunately, Dora ran out of her energy, making them fly aimlessly. After falling from a height, they both returned to Aji's house to treat their wounds, but suddenly, the power goes out. Dora then shows her the power to summon fireflies as lighting and wound healing. The next day, when Aji and Dora were relaxing on the basketball court, there was news that showed Aji was flying alone, while Dora was nowhere to be seen. Not long after, a predatory plant spirit emerged from underground, which immediately swallowed Dora. Then the plant spirit ran away from Aji. When Aji was chasing the plant spirit, a big man blocked his journey and was angry with him. It turns out that the man is the older brother of the woman who yesterday rejected his love. The woman was still trying to get Aji's attention by showing her martial arts skills in front of Aji, but Aji instead ran away and prioritized the safety of Dora, who was in the body of the plant spirit. While Aji was looking for Dora, he stopped at a concert that took place in the park. He heard Dora's voice but didn't know where, so he provoked her by saying that he felt very happy without Dora's presence so he could live freely. Hearing this, Dora, who was almost exhausted in the plant spirit's body, was immediately excited to attack the spirit body from inside to meet Aji. As a result, Dora managed to get out of the body of the plant spirit. After that, the plant spirit's body immediately turned small and went to meet its summoner, a woman named Hana. Then they both left without saying a word. Aji speculates that Hana is not an ordinary person because she can see Dora's whereabouts. According to Dora, Hana is a summoner too, because spirits can't stay away from their summoner. So the plant spirit could only run in a circular pattern around its summoner. Aji also saw that the woman's clothes were made of good material. She must be a rich person. The black rose earrings she uses are also the same as his school's symbol, which is a hereditary symbol of a large family. In fact, the entire Fanglin Middle School is part of the family's assets. In addition, Aji saw that the movement between Hana and the plant spirit was very far, but the spirit could still move very strongly. This means that Hana has enormous strength, so Aji concludes that he can't face Hana. At the principal's office, Hana reports her failure to catch Aji to a man named Harun. He wants them both to act recklessly to see Aji and Dora's potential. Meanwhile, Aji was relaxing in class because he was tired of looking for Dora earlier. Soon Hana came to his class to give him a letter without saying anything, then left. The letter was also seen by Aji's male friends. The letter says that Duola would wait for Aji after school hours in the mountain behind the school. They all thought that Aji was going on a date, so they followed him to the middle of the forest. Arriving in the middle of the forest, Aji was surprised to see the trees on his left and right tilted as if opening a path for him. It turned out that the road led him to meet Hana, who was watching some black roses. Without further ado, the plant spirit asked Aji to hand over Duola, but he refused because after establishing a bond, Aji felt he had a responsibility to take care of her. Hearing Aji's answer, Hana immediately attacked him using a black rose. Unfortunately, Aji and Duola managed to dodge. Hana continued her attack by summoning a large tree spirit which cornered Aji and Duola's position. When feeling overwhelmed, Aji and Duola took out a sharp ancient knife, then scratched the tree spirit. It turned out that the summoners would have the same wounds as their spirit bodies. After they defeat the big tree, Duola intends to finish off Hana from behind, but Aji stopped her because he didn't want Duola to kill for no reason. In addition, he realized that Hana had tried to restrain herself from exerting all her strength against Aji and Duola. Then the plant spirit said Aji had passed the test while Duola had not. Hearing that they were being tested, Duola immediately changed her attitude and tried to improve relations by inviting them to eat at Aji's house. Arriving at home, Aji immediately prepared all the cooking needs and made them delicious food. As they ate, the plant spirit told Aji that they had no other choice but to do so, because there are good and bad summoners from different factions in this world. Then the plant spirit said that the two of them were the city's guardians. Before Hana and the plant spirit left, she said that the two of them would continue to observe Aji and Duola's movements for 24 hours. Elsewhere there was a woman named Miawu who was sleeping. She dreamed of seeing a house made of wood on fire. Then there was a man who left her who she called her brother. After that, Miawu wreaked havoc in the middle of the city. She called all the animals from the zoo to gather there. It turned out that the animals came and disturbed Aji's school, so the students ran away in fear. Aji and Duola did not want to stay silent. They both tried to find the source of the problem until they both arrived in the middle of the city. Aji saw Miawu was in the middle of a crowd of animals, so he thought she was in danger and tried to help her. But after that, Aji realized that Miawu was not an ordinary woman because she had a tail. Soon Hana and the plant spirit came to stop Miawu, while the plant spirit removed all the animals from the center of the city. Hana immediately attacks Miawu, but she is strong enough to be able to control various animal powers to overwhelm Hana. As a result, Hana summoned a large tree spirit to confront her animal powers. Then Aji realized that if Hana and Miawu continued to fight, something fatal would happen. Aji and Duola stopped them by binding the spirits using iron chains. Aji realized that the summoner who caused the chaos was a cat, while Miawu was only a summoned spirit but one with the cat. After that, Aji decided to go home and treat Miawu's wound. Arriving at Aji's house, Miawu told them why she made a mess. She wanted to meet her older brother, who left after causing a stir and big news. Unbeknownst to them, it turned out that her older brother was outside the house watching the three of them. The next day, Aji's house is visited by a group of male spirits in black suits and burly bodies to take the three of them to Hana by helicopter. They arrived in Hana's yard and saw that many spirits were working for her. After that, they entered Hana's house, and suddenly Aji heard a female voice calling him from inside the giant goddess statue, but Aji didn't recognize it. When he began to remember, Duola came to surprise him so that the shadow dispersed. Then they went into the principal's office, where Harun was waiting for them. Harun introduced himself to them that he was the head of the Black Rose clan as well as the famous ruler of Fenglin, while Hana was his granddaughter. At first, Duola and Aji underestimated Harun's ability because he looked normal physically. Not long after, Harun showed his formidable strength as an introduction. Then Harun told them there used to be an animist belief from a crystal that was both a goddess and a demon. To obtain the crystal, the summoners waged a relentless war that had been going on for centuries. In the past, summoners were divided into two parts. The first group of summoners to use the power of nature. They follow nature and maintain the balance of the world, known as guardians. While the second group of summoners has no morals by taking all the power from spirits, killing, committing aggression, and trying to conquer the world with greed known as annihilation. Soon after, every summoner must choose light or darkness, good or evil, guard or destroy. Harun asked Aji which one he would choose, but Aji just stayed silent as if he didn't want to choose. Harun again told about Aji's past, where his parents had dumped him when he was 5 years old. But strangely, Aji can live alone from childhood to adulthood. He also finds out that Aji works in two places and disguises his golden hair as a different color. Although Aji's daily life looks fine, the reality in his heart is very uneasy. In addition, Aji also always keeps his parents' photos in his wallet, and all the strange things that happened recently in his life are not coincidental. Harun also tells Miawu that her sibling has become an international and fearsome assassin and part of the extermination. Not long after, something unexpected happened. There was a big and sturdy stone man who attacked Harun from above the house. It turned out that the man was a part of the annihilation. Harun tried his best to attack the man, but his strength seemed to have no effect on him. Outside the house, there were also several vandals, including the cat lady's sibling. Even though the cat spirit was his younger sister, he ignored her and attacked her. When Aji wanted to attack, it was as if a force was holding him back until he was unconscious. Not long after, there was a woman who attacked Hana, but Harun swiftly healed the wound on Hana's neck. Unfortunately, when Harun was treating Hana's wounds, there was a woman in red who shot her through the head. Harun, who felt very angry, immediately changed his form into a monster and issued his strength to fight them all. Unfortunately, a man named Washin managed to steal all of Harun's power. Once the goal was achieved, the destroyers just left. After the incident, Duola was very upset and wanted revenge, but Aji chose to remain calm while looking for some important information. He got a hint from a video that recorded the fight between Harun and a burly man while in the room. Aji managed to find the account of the person who uploaded the incident. It turned out that there was a lot of news in that person's account about the summoner investigation. According to Aji, the woman who owns the account is a summoner too, so he thinks to find her, because there was a chance that woman could be the key and provide information about the extermination group. And coincidentally, Aji found a leaflet that said that the person would be holding an autograph event for her new book, which had just been published. The next day, they immediately went to that person's location. On the other hand, that person can manage everything related to technology, such as stopping trains, getting drinks at the machine, and broadcasting programs on television. She looked excited to have the book autograph session at the city's roadside booth, but in fact no one came to the event. Then Aji came wearing a mask so she wouldn't know his face, but the woman already knew that he was Aji. Even she also knew that Aji came there with Miawu and Duola. While they were playing with the woman's sophisticated cell phone, a fire attack was suddenly heading towards them. It turns out that they are robot spirits that can be controlled remotely. Then the woman turned the car into a giant robot to defeat them. Unfortunately, the gasoline in the robot was dripping until it burned the robot's entire body. It turned out that the child was a man named Sitan disguised in a woman's costume. Then Sitan took them into his car, where in the car there was sophisticated equipment that he made as a headquarters. Sitan explained the main goal is to collect important information about the exterminators. He has been using satellites to monitor fluctuations in spirit power and then records everything as his research data. On the map, there are two colors. The green dot indicates potential, but no summoner spirit has awakened yet, while the red dot indicates the path of the destroyer's movement. Over time, the green dot has been swallowed up by the red dot so that the red dot dominates. In other words, the annihilations were obsessed with seizing the power of the summoners. To get further clues, they will go to Harun's place. Arriving there, Sitan managed to analyze the people who had attacked the place. In the first attack from the sky, the stone man of the annihilation was nicknamed Ruthless, an earth summoner. The second destroyer is a woman nicknamed Flame. She is a fire summoner who moves weapons and explosives. Third, Miawu's older brother, nicknamed Crow, is from an animal breed. He and his crows act as scouts. However, Sitan couldn't get data about the fourth destroyer from the person who held Aji when he wanted to attack. He only got his shadow, and he got the nickname Dream. Fifth, a woman called Shadow, who is described by him as a figure with cold illusions and no feelings. Sixth is the man who is Harun's killer and the destroyer leader, Washin. His strength is very worthy of being called the god of death. The main purpose of their attack was hidden in the big hole. Sitan again showed what was in the hole. It turned out that there were thousands of sealed spirits in the hole. The Guardian family secretly collected the spirits, while the main goal of the extermination group is to take all the sealed spirits. Aji then found stone fragments that were different from other stones. After being investigated, it turned out that the fragments were part of the body of a stone man. Miawu smelled the stone and smelled the scent of manzanita flowers, or what is known as spider flowers. Aji remembered where the flower was, but Sitan quickly found the place using his cell phone. They then decided to go there. On the way, Aji told them that he lived with his parents before he was 5 years old. They always move house, so he has no friends. Then his father disappeared without a word, and after a while, his mother also disappeared, so he was cared for by his distant relative. They are also curious about Duola's past. Unfortunately, she only remembers a few things. She used to be alone and felt very lonely. Then she met all kinds of people and things. But when she tried to remember it, her head hurt so bad. Sitan then scanned Duola's body, and he found a chained heart. Duola is not losing her memory, but her memory has been sealed. When they got there, they were in a towering stone forest. They flew over the rocks to go to a village that was once a settlement. Sitan said the village was once a thriving settlement, but 10 years ago, the village disappeared from the map. Then they searched the village until they found a house surrounded by a field of red spider flowers. Before long, there was a man who came out of the house. He looked like an ordinary farmer who was planting crops. Seaton tries to discover the person's identity by scanning him, but because the network is not good, his cell phone's performance slows down. While they were hiding, they were too noisy for the man to notice. Then the man greeted them, so they went over to the man. But the man could not see Duola, proving that he was not a summoner.